All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And, I just wanted to go into this quick lesson. All right, Lord willing, I'm going to go through, I have about just a few precepts. So, I'll start off with one of them now, and then when I get to my destination, I'll get the rest, and I'll just speak along the way on the precept that we start with. And this lesson was inspired by a video that I was watching that was done by the Elder Yashawamba. And it was a recent video dealing with the disbelief, these wicked Israelites, pretty much don't let that get to you. Now, as I was listening to the video, he mentioned something, that was very key. It made a lot of sense. He said, that's pretty much where I got the title from, but I just had to reword it because you know how YouTube is with their censorship. But the sentence was, don't let these niggas make you a nigga. All right? And pretty much that's what we need to understand and apply, all right, very heavily, especially in these times, because you have a lot of Israelites, wicked Israelites, who, I mean, if they're wicked Israelites, then they're already set for the judgment. And so they don't really have anything to lose, being that they're wicked, so they're gonna get the judgment. But you, all right, fighting for your salvation, fighting for your chance to make it on the chariot, you got to understand that them being niggas shouldn't draw out a certain kind of, carnality within you. Because that carnality, that if you allow them to get to you, to draw it out of you, could cost you your salvation. All right? And now, here it is. He wasn't going to get it, but now he was able to get to you to where now you can't get it. All right? Which ultimately, if you're of the elect, we already know what the case is. Nevertheless, this is something good to lay to heart. Okay? Because we are spiritual. And the point in being spiritual is remaining spiritual, all right? And that's really put to the test when you are put in a position to react carnally. And that's why the scriptures talk about not being hasty or pretty much impulsive. Because if you're impulsive, you don't allow the spirit to work. You react, and the first reaction is based off of emotion, is based off of carnality. Okay? And even sometimes you may be fighting for a righteous cause, but you have to be aware of how you're going about it. Okay? Because, you may be justified in your mind, but it's ultimately about whether you're justified in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And I'm going to go through a couple of examples of situations where, these individuals were niggas, right? And everybody would be okay with you, giving them what's coming for them, but technically you wouldn't be correct in doing so, and that it would be okay, but it would be from a carnal, emotional standpoint. All right, so this is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 5, and it says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh." All right, and we are not after the flesh; we're after the spirit. So when we get, carnal statements, or things are said, usually when somebody comes at you carnal, instinctively people react what? They fight fire with fire, but fire doesn't put out fire. Okay, it only adds to it. Water puts out fire, right? So when they come to you with that carnality, the way you put it out is through spirituality. So as it says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh." Now, what are some examples of the things of the flesh? Emotions. Okay? Now, emotions aren't bad, but letting your emotions control you and run you is what's bad. Just like money is not evil, but the love of money, which drives people to do evil things, is where that wickedness comes from. See? So dealing with emotions being a part of the things of the flesh, what is one of the main strong emotions? Anger. And what does anger lead to? Anger most of the time leads to, let me just, When you're angry, if you don't have control over yourself, you'll act out of anger. And when you act out of anger, you're not thinking rationally. You see? So if you mind the things of the flesh, an example being anger or carnality, then the second somebody comes at you a certain way, instinctively, it just draws it out of you. And while you're in that state of carnality, let's read what the scriptures say. But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So when if you allow them to draw you out of the realm of spirituality, even for a second or a minute, that's all those demons need. Remember, there's spirits that are on these people to do these things. And if you are spiritual, you understand that. And so, yeah, you get mad, but you control yourself. All right? Because you understand that there's spirits on these people to act a certain way to get you out of your spiritual element. And once you're out of your spiritual element, those demons are able to have access to you because now you're being carnal. And to be carnally minded is what? Is death. Even for a minute. Because you could be carnally minded for a minute and make a deadly decision. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So they could come on talking all this shit. Now, we'll make videos, right? We'll edify. But we don't take it to heart. The judgment is going to come for you. We're going to remember you. But we're not going to lose sleep over you. We're not going to be out here, all messed, looking for you and shit. That's not going to do anything for us. We got a job to do. And plus, there's so many of you that you'd exhaust yourself trying to go after every single one of them. So it gets to the point where you just get blocked. And then we just go about our day. Because why should I look, there's certain things that you can't control. And there's certain things you can't control. The external things you can't control, but how you feel about them, you can try to control that. Right? So if you come on talking shit, calling me names or whatever the case is, why would I let that ruin my day? Because you done left one comment, right? Or you done made one video saying all manner of things. Why should I let one video that you made make me so bitter that I cannot go about and enjoy the rest of my day? While you're going about doing whatever the hell you're doing, probably forgot about me. But now I'm being affected by one thing you said. Why? That's not going to do me any good. I'm all bitter and shit. Every 2 seconds, oh, Lord, please let me get this guy. Well, because understand that the Lord allows all these things to happen, but he watches our reactions. Look at King David and Saul. Saul was wicked, right? Saul was wicked, and yet, even though Saul was wicked and David had the opportunity to put him to death, David was recognized for not doing so. Because it's not always about the direction the situation leads. It's about your character. So the situation might say, yo, he was trying to get your ass, just put him out. But what does your character say? And King David's character said a lot. He said, no, I'm not going to touch the Lord's anointed. So even though Saul was wicked, that situation was still even a test for David to see, well, how do you act in this situation? What does this say about you? When somebody says something bad or they do you wrong, that you can learn a lot about yourself that way, based on what you say, how you react. Okay? Verse 8, it says, so then, matter of fact, verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. And that's why these people move the way they do. And if we allow them to get to us, okay, in trying to get back at them, you're being like them. And that's not the spirit you want to give out. We need to be different. Okay? We need to be different. Because if you allow them to get to you, they win. That's what they want. Like if a woman tries to start an argument with you and you don't argue back, you just killed her whole joint. Or if somebody's, trying to start some beef with you, or, there's like some tension going on, and you don't give that energy back, he can't go nowhere with it. He's forced to just, you basically heap coals upon his head because he's forced to do. Well, what am I going to do now? If you step on somebody's sneakers and you apologize, well, now what? He may be mad as hell, but now what? He apologized. I can't take it nowhere. You know? It says, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. See? So if you let these wicked Israelites and the things they do, you know, we speak about it, but we deal with it from a spiritual standpoint. And that's why we go into the scriptures and we tell you the judgments that are going to come for behaving that way. But we're not physically coming to try and issue our judgment on you. You know, we're not going to physically do that, because that's not going to do us any good. We got to deal with it from a spiritual standpoint. Look at Yahushua, the things he endured, because he was spiritual. He said, don't you think I can call basically legions of angels now, and they can halt all this? But he was spiritual, and he handled it spiritually because he understood. Okay? Verse 9, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. All right? It says, now if any man have not the spirit of a Mashiach, he is none of his. And we are of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shai. See? So that means we have to do our best to what? To remain spiritual. All right? We have to do our best to remain spiritual, even though they try to get that carnal side out of you. And that's what builds your character. You can't let others' actions control you. Because yeah, you feel like, I'm doing this for me, but when you really look at it, you're being controlled by others' actions, and that's not strong. Okay? That's like a reed, you know, that's being tossed by the wind. The reed's movement is dependent on the direction the wind goes in. And you don't want to be like that. You don't want your actions and your emotions and your thoughts to be controlled by the actions of somebody else. That means you're not stable in the mind. Because then the person knows what buttons to push, and they know just how to get to you. They know if I come out here and I curse you out and I say this about you and your family, you're going to get so mad, you know, you just might do something. They do something out of character. So they know how to control your mind, how to control your thoughts, how to control you. And as a spiritual man, nobody should be able to do that to you. Okay? You should be persuaded in your own mind. You should act based on the spirit, not based on others' actions. Okay? Because if you act based on others' actions, man, the actions of others, you're gonna find yourself in a very bad position. You're gonna find yourself always stressed, you know, always trying to get back at, you know, always, you're not gonna have peace. But if you have the spirit, hey, all right. Look, personally, man, you know, I don't like to get mad. All right. When people come on talking shit, yo, I laugh, because it's like, it's so insignificant. You know, it's so insignificant because you see them going so hard. They're so pissed. They're so angry. You're like, damn, what you so mad about, bro? I don't even know you. You don't even know me. But you all pissed off. You know, yeah, you could tell by the way they leave these comments, man. All caps, like 20 exclamation marks. They leave a whole essay, and you know somebody's hurt if they leave in essays, man. No scriptures. It's not like they're explaining a scripture that made the message longer. Nah. Just essays. You know, here it is. You leaving me a damn near final paper. Like I'm an English professor or something. Like I gotta grade this shit. You know, now I'm reading this shit and I'm finding errors in here. I have to revise this joint just so I can read it. And you're like, damn, you that hurt? You're so hurt that you actually took the time out of your day to sit down and leave a 2-page essay on somebody's comment board just so you could get a video done on you, and then, you know, just get marked for judgment. You know, and that's the thing. That's why, you know, we don't go on these other people's comment boards, and because for what? You know, what's that gonna do? You know what's immutable? The word of the Lord. All right, look that word up. Immutable. It doesn't change. The word of the Lord is solid. Prophecy is solid. So if we are prophets, we have to be solid in prophecy. We have to be solid in the word of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, a true prophet is solid in the ways of the Lord. We're stubborn, but in a righteous way, meaning that you can't sway us from the way of the Lord. Not with persuasion, not with emotion, not with anger, because like I said, it's all spirits. It's all just spirits and demons trying to get the better of you, trying to find out what makes you tick. And if they can find what makes you tick, oh boy, you know they're gonna exploit it. You know, so you're wasting your time. People think that what they do hurts us. We got the truth. You need the truth. Okay? Salvation lies in the truth. So we got the truth. You need the truth. You acting like you shitting on the truth is gonna stop us from gaining salvation. No. You're hurting yourself. Okay? You come on here, you damn yourself. If you come in the wrong spirit, you're not humbling down. We're giving you the words, we're giving you the name. We're teaching correctly, and you come in talking, oh, hey, you're just putting damnation upon your own self. It does not. Listen, man, let me tell you something. We don't lose sleep. All right? We sleep good at night. If you wanted to know, we sleep good at night. All right? We don't lose sleep. But you know why? Because our minds are not affected by your statements. So going back to the title, don't let the actions, because sometimes you get vexed righteously, like Lot. It said Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, right? Their wicked lifestyle. And it vexes you to see it. Okay? But at the end of the day, they're in their lot. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. And as I was watching the video, the elder Yashawamba made another good point. He said these people may not be 100%, in the things that they're doing, all right, meaning doing the right thing, but they're 100% in their lot. Okay? So it's if you can receive it, they're not doing the will of the Lord, but they're doing the will of the Lord. They're doing the will of the Lord by not doing the will of the Lord. Meaning they're not serving the Lord the way they should be, but yet they're serving the Lord the way they have to. Meaning they have to be scoffers. They have to be scorners. So that's what the Lord has determined for them to do, and that's what they're doing. So they're serving the Lord's purpose, but they're not actually serving the Lord by following his ways. You see? So, hey, at the end of the day, guess what? It's going to happen. And it's going to happen because the Lord sanctioned it. What are you going to do? Hey, sometimes you just got to stop worrying about everybody else. Look in the mirror. The scriptures say, examine yourself daily, whether you be in the faith. You know that they're not. You know they don't got the truth. You know that they are without. So why let somebody that's without affect you that are within and try to drag you out? The man is outside. He wants you to come outside. But you ain't supposed to be outside. So stay inside. You don't got to go, oh, what you said, nigga? Because he wants you to get like that so you can step outside. If he's outside, he's talking shit, you come to the window, you look at him, all right, and you turn around, you got your tea or whatever, and then you go back. He's going to be hurt. Because what does he want? He wants you to come outside. What did you do? You stayed inside. So he's hurt. And he can't get access to you. He's yelling, but ain't nobody at the window. So he's wasting his time. And eventually those demons go away. You know what's going to happen? We keep on doing what we're doing. We're going to keep on going out there. We're going to keep on prophesying. We're going to keep on serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Okay? And Lord willing, we're going to get a great reward for that. And we're not going to lose our reward because of some niggas, some demons. We know you're demons. We understand that. We understand how demons work. We understand that this is the job of the demons. Hey, you look at Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot could not do anything but betray the Lord. He didn't have an option. The scriptures say, who have resisted his will? Yeah. Judas had to betray Yahweh. He didn't have an option. And you can get mad at him, but at the end of the day, guess what? He did what he had to do. Somebody tells you got to do what you got to do. Well, you're going to do exactly what you got to do. And that's why we pray. That's why you have Psalms 51. We pray that the Lord takes not his Holy Spirit away from us. We pray that what the Lord has set for us to have to do is the right thing. Is to be the elect. okay, to be the righteous members of his cast, of his movie. Because if the Lord says you gonna do what you gotta do, and what you gotta do is be righteous, then that's perfect, because that's exactly what you're gonna do. You know? So in season, out of season, guess what? We're gonna do what we gotta do. You know? There's a lot going on, and our minds cannot be, you know, now the Spirit will jump on us, and we'll address certain things. You know, we'll go about it how the Spirit leads us to. But then that's it. Once the edification is out, cool. Then we move on to the next edification. What's next? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to what? He's about to turn things up. And we got to be ready and alert. You know, you're not going to have those second, third, fourth chances where you're not on your watch and you miss it, and then you get another chance at it. No. This time you got to be alert. You got to be ready. You got to catch it on the first go around. So we don't have time to begin carnally distracted. We got to be fully spiritually invested. Okay, that's what the Lord is looking for. He's looking for you to turn up your attention span. He's looking for you to turn up your discipline. He's looking for you to turn up your diligence, your dedication. You know, the amount of time you spend serving the Lord. He's looking for you to turn that up. Okay, we're making our bodies a living sacrifice, right? So we got to turn up our tolerance, because the fire is turning up. That means that the things we're going to have to go through are going to turn up. Now, if you turn up accordingly, then you balance out. Right? Like minimum wage, for example. As things get more expensive, they raise the minimum wage so it balances out. Right? If you're getting $12 an hour and your rent is $700, if your rent goes to $1,000, then they give you $15 an hour, you know, or $16 an hour. So it balances out. Now, you may think you're getting more money, but you're really not. Just because it's $15 an hour, well, the price of everything else went up too. You know, so you don't set trip. But that's how you balance it out. So if we know that the Lord is going to turn things up, or he is turning things up, how do we balance it out so we don't get caught slipping? We don't get caught lacking by us turning up as well. Okay, we also got to turn up. You know? So at the end of the day, as the scriptures say, man, we got to follow spiritual examples. Okay? We have to be rooted in spirituality. We cannot let carnality get to us, especially not now. Especially not when we're so close. But that's the thing. It's when we're so close that these demons are going to come out full force. And they're going to come in every which way, every shape and form. And they're going to say certain things that's just going to tick you off. You know, it's going to rub you the wrong way. Because personally, look, when you say things about us, all right, cool. But when you come at our power, you come at the Most High, you come at Yahushua, that's when we get ticked off. Okay? That's when we get real vexed. That's when we get, because you know what it is? The spirit. All right? Our spirit gets pissed off. When you come at us, that's you trying to come at the flesh. All right, whatever. I mean, you can say whatever you want about me, okay? I don't care. But when you try to disrespect our power, see, that's when the spirit, you know, and then you know, then you're really asking for it. But even then, we have to control ourselves. All right, we have to be patient. We have to suffer these things, and the Lord is allowing these things to go on because we have to suffer it. But he's not going to let it go on forever. He's going to put a stop to it. You know, we can't just go all Mattathias mode, you know, get all pissed and then slay people on you know, that's not wise. Right? The scriptures say all things are lawful for me, but not all things are expedient. You see? It's not expedient, so it's not wise. It's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Now, you might say, but he was wicked. Yeah, okay, he was wicked. But what did you do? You know? Did you become wicked so you could punish the wicked? That's something to think about. Did you become wicked in your pursuit to punish this wicked? Did you become wicked? And that's something that people don't pay mind to. They're so focused on, I gotta get this guy, I gotta get my revenge. You know, that's why the scriptures say vengeance is of the Lord, because in taking vengeance, you might end up becoming wicked, or doing something wicked, or doing something you ought not, in the means of getting back at somebody. And now the Lord, because the scriptures say that the Lord is impulsive when it comes to judgment. And he has to hold himself back. Okay, that the evil that is sown, you know, may be reaped in due season and punished. right, and threshed. Okay, and that's why, I have the account which we're gonna go into, dealing with King David and Nabal and Abigail. It was an account, but the Lord had it happen that way for a reason, and it's spiritual, and we can learn a lot from that encounter. Now, I'm pretty sure when we all read it, we were like, yo, this nigga wicked as shit. You know? Like, man, you know, you get that feeling of like, if you were King David and you heard some shit like that, hell yeah, you'd be pissed off. You know, you wanna just hurt that dude, Nabal. But guess what? He didn't have to give you of his substance. It's his substance. You know? You did him a favor, but he was wicked. You know, so he didn't have to do it. So if you put him to death, well, what law, you know, did he break by saying, well, I don't want to give you any of my substance? So the means that you would have to go through to accomplish or satisfy the anger or carnality that the person has drawn out of you now jeopardizes you. And now it says something to the Lord about you. You see, and it stains your reputation. You don't want that. Okay? That's the hard part. You know, it's easy to say, oh, be the bigger person. Yeah, that's easy to say. You know, but when it comes time to actually be the bigger person, it ain't so easy. You know, having to hold your tongue and suppress yourself is not so easy. But that's why only few people are able to do it. Okay? And you may read about it and it may seem, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he did a good job. Oh, shit, yo, bravo. You know, that's a spiritual man right there. Yeah. Can you do that, though? You know, you read about it. It's easy to read about it. But you got to understand what was going on internally. What state of mind was this individual in order to be able to do something like that? Okay, and that's important to understand. Let me do what I got to do real quick. The question is, can I do this? All right. All right, now stay here for a bit. Right, so you know, yeah. So it's about remaining spiritual. Okay, now I had another precept here. I believe is in the book of 1 Peter. All right, and I see brothers lining up the comment boards. I'm gonna do my best to actually hit some of these precepts today. And I always say it, but yeah, I gotta hit some of these precepts, man, because brothers be pulling them bangers. Okay, but let's get the ones that I have. I don't have a lot, and then we'll get into the others on here. Now this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1. Nope, not chapter 1. Chapter 4. Okay, verse there we go. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 14. Okay, and it says, if ye be reproached for the name of Mashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. So why shouldn't we? This not that good of a place. How would you go from being a spiritual man, knowing better, right, being in this truth, to now suffering as an evildoer or as a murderer, okay, as a busybody, and because you got drawn into carnality. That is why when you have these bugged out individuals that do some wild shit, and then these demons try to pin it on us and blame us and say the BHI this and the BHI that, guess what? We don't let that, affect us. We're like, hold on, this person ain't a part of us. Because the scriptures say, let none of us suffer as an evildoer. So being spiritual, we're not going to end up doing shit like that. A spiritual man is not going to let somebody draw carnality in him so much that he goes and becomes a murderer. What the hell? What business you got doing murdering somebody? The hell wrong with you? What did they do that was so bad? Now check this out. Your woman may commit adultery, and you may catch the woman and the man. Now you may say, oh, well, according to the law, it says that I could, and I was pissed off, and so I did. Well, wait, where do you think you're going to end up, sir? Okay, if you are spiritual, you may be vexed, you may be pissed off, but what happens if you execute judgment upon her and the men? Now, you may see somebody somebody in the world may do it. They may see it and they may get pissed off and then pow pow, right? Poof, shoot up the body and shit. And you may say, well, hey, well, really, according to the law, he ain't do nothing because she was, he ain't do nothing wrong. But now, if you were in that position, you can't just say that, oh, well, since he ain't do nothing wrong, I'm in this position, I'm going to do it, and I ain't going to be, guess what? Your ass is going to be in jail. They're going to throw you under the jail. And then what are you going to try to do? You're going to try to go to Leviticus and, and Deuteronomy and try to find the precept. Well, it says here that she's supposed to be put to death. Yeah, they're going to tell you, well, listen, my man, go read the laws that we got here and then come talk to us. Okay? So you have to use wisdom. If you're spiritual, you understand that, no, look, I got a job to do. I got to be out there every week and I got to do these videos daily. So if I end up executing judgment on such and such and I end up in prison or in jail, how am I going to be out there teaching the word of the Lord? How am I going to be doing these lessons? How am I going to be edifying? Because the Lord has blessed me with this knowledge. He's blessed me with this wisdom and understanding. But if I'm here getting carnal and now I'm in prison or I'm in jail, how am I going to use the knowledge the Lord has blessed me to serve him? How? I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't feed the multitudes of the sheep that need to be fed. Why? Because of that decision that I made. Because now I'm suffering as an evildoer. Right? And not that what you're like, you executing judgment is evil, like you're breaking the law, but that's not wisdom. And the scriptures talk about being overmuch righteous or righteous overmuch. It'll come back and bite you in the ass. So being spiritual encompasses more than just technicalities. That's the thing. A lot of people like to be technical. When you deal with the law, you have to be very technical, right? That's what these scribes and these Pharisees would do. Those that were doctors in the law and they would study the law, they had to be very technical to know in what cases to apply the law, in what instances, in what situations, in your daily life. Would this action constitute as breaking it? Would it constitute as not? How would you judge this matter? You have to be very technical. All right. But in the spirit, it's not so. In the spirit, is more fluent. You see, it's not rigid. It's more fluent. So everything flows. And that's why people cannot deal with the spirit, because they want to be technical with everything. Here it is. Spiritually, you shouldn't do something. If I'm coming to camp, I'm not going to go get drunk. I'm not going to go, Now, technically, I don't see any specific law. Well, the scriptures actually say that wine is good, forbid no man, merry-hearted. But that's the technicality. Well, technically, I didn't break any specific law in here, because I didn't. But spiritually, look, come on, man. Does somebody need to tell you that? That's a part of that spiritual maturity. Okay, but now let's go back, continuing in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yeah, because when you're in this truth, you shouldn't let anything get to you so much that you end up suffering like this. That you end up suffering as for a carnal action. Okay? Verse 16, yet if any man suffer as a Christian, all right, yet if any man suffer as a Christian, right, a follower of Yahushua, let him not be ashamed, but let him glory or glorify the Most High on this behalf. So we're not losing sleep, like I said. All right? We're not losing sleep. So guess what? We're suffering for following Yahushua. We're suffering because we're speaking the words that we're supposed to speak, all right? The spiritual words, the reproof, the rebuke, the exhortation, we're doing all of that. And we're suffering because of that. Oh, y'all faggot ass, y'all this, y'all some bitch ass niggas. Oh, okay. Shit. I didn't know standing up for the Messiah made you a bitch ass nigga. That's okay. You know? We'll suffer that because we know the Lord said it would happen. The Lord said the world hated him, so they would hate us. Right? So if you coming at us with negative energy, hey, the Lord said it would happen. We're not losing our minds. Oh my God, she cursed me out. He cursed me out, man. I'm gonna find this nigga. Bro, why are you so hurt? You know one thing, when I was a child, my brother and I, we were younger, and we used to our pops was much older, right? So you may be upset, maybe my brother, we're kids, right? Be, mad at each other, cursing each other out, my brother be like, oh, your big ass head, look at your big ass head, you a fool. And I used to get so mad. I used to get so mad. I was a little kid, but I'd be crying. I'd go to my pops. I'm like, oh, he's like, what is it this time? I'm like, yo, he called me a fool. And you know what the answer I would get was? Are you a fool? And then I gotta think for a second. So now I gotta stop crying because I gotta think. So I can't cry. I gotta stop. Am I a fool? No, I'm not a fool. So you mad? You crying and shit, but then the question gets asked. No, I'm not a fool. All right. So then don't let it bother you. If you know you're not a fool, then why do you care? I said, man, I'm better now, but I'm kind of mad because now I can't be mad because that made so much sense, right? If somebody calls you an idiot, they call you a bundle of sticks, they call you all manner of things, well, are you? If you know you're not, then all right. That's what you're saying, right? Thou sayest. But I know I'm not, clearly the Lord has given us the greatest knowledge of all. I love women. So I'm not affected by your statements. You see? You always got to remain spiritual because they're saying that because they want to grab you. But like the scriptures say, if you suffer as a Christian, all right, meaning a follower of Yahushua, a follower of the anointed. Okay, not these plantation Christians. Okay? And then it says you glorify the Most High. Okay? Yep, and then verse 17 talks about, which I'm going to read in a second, but it talks about the judgment beginning at the house of God. That's why the Lord's like, hey, don't worry about it. Judgment is going to start here. I'll take that. You can pass right on by. Go ahead. Judgment is going to start at the house of God, which is with us who know we're Israelites. See, so at the end of the day, guess what? We are satisfied and comforted in the fact that all these things are going to come back to bite your ass. It's going to affect you. You're playing yourself. That's okay. Now, if we allow you to turn us into niggas because of what you're saying, then we're playing ourselves. We're the ones who are at risk. And we're not going to, listen, man. Hell no. Ain't no way I'm going to sacrifice my salvation, a seat on the chariot, because of some wicked nigga smoking a blunt. Talking shit. Oh, bro. Nah. All right. So let me go back to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So we know y'all gonna get squashed like bugs. It says, verse 19, wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto a faithful creator. So you got to commit your souls to the Most High in well-doing, not in carnality. Because the scriptures we just read in Romans 8 about a carnal mind being enmity with the Most High. You see? So now, remember, if you go out of your element and do some wild shit, and the Most High now comes to you and says, now, why did you do that? Now, whoever drew you into that, they might get signed or they might not. But now you are in the shit and the Most High is going to ask you. So what was that about? Why'd you do that? Oh, Lord, well, he made me. No. No. That's the error number one. Why do you find yourself in this position? Oh, well, he said, oh, no. I don't want to hear. I didn't ask about him. I asked about you. What did you do? That's what the Lord is going, because the Lord is going to judge you according to what you did. Not according to what he did. Not according to what he said, but about you. Because it wasn't what he said that put you here. It was how you reacted that put you here. So guess what? The Lord is looking at your actions, and that's how you are going to be judged. Always remember that. You are going to be judged according to your actions, not the next man's actions. Okay? If he provokes you, you are judged based on your actions. How do you react? What did you do? Okay? It's like Jake wants to be selfish in the wrong situations, and then they want to worry about everybody else in the wrong situations. When it comes time for you to look inwardly and worry about yourself, they want to worry about everybody else. When it comes time to actually look out for others, they're all about themselves. You got it twisted. You got it twisted, Jack. Now, lastly, I have here the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25. And I'm just going to go to the point. Matter of fact, let's read through it. 1 Samuel 25:1. It says, and Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David rose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon, whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding, and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that lived in prosperity, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us were thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. So they took care of them. It says, ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore, let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand unto thy servants and to thy son David. You know, so give us a little sign. And when David's young men came, they spoke to Nabal according to all the words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers, and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? Shit. So David's young men turned their way and went again, and came and told him all those sayings. He's like, damn, wow, this nigga. Verse 13, and David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also it says, and David also girded on his sword, and there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. Oh boy. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were on conversant with them when we were in the fields. It says they were a wall unto us both by night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. So they protected Nabal's men while they were shearing the sheep and so on and so forth. because sheep were likened onto, well, sheep are wealth, cattle, and you had thieves that would come and they would, like the story of Job. You had men that came and they pretty much, you know, took out the servants and got away with Job's goods, which were his sheep, his cattle, his oxen, all of that. See, so what David did here was he saved Nabal's servants and Nabal riches. And what did this dude do in return? Instead of being grateful, he railed on them. So it says here, so David and them were ready. They were like, okay, well, let's go see this man. It says, verse 17, now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him. See, he's such a fool. He's so hard-headed that you can't even, he just don't get it. You can't get through to this guy. So now because of his actions, the evil's coming. They just coming. They coming to, it says here, verse 18, then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs and laid them on asses. Now, you see the spirit that Abigail was in? Not like these proud-ass demons, Well, who the fuck you think he is? You go, all right, so my man ain't want to give you shit. Ain't nobody asked you to watch our stuff. What he gonna do? He gonna come touch us? I dare him. Meanwhile, when this man gets here, your ass is grass. But sometimes I really sit there and I wonder, wait, where do they get the boldness from? I'm like, okay, is it like, do they have like some secret superpowers? Like, are they like, where does the boldness come from? Because what do you use to back it up? You don't have anything except for 911, if that, but showing you the mindset she was in. So she took all these provisions, verse 19, and she said unto her servants, go on before me, behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the covert of the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow hath in the wilderness. See, I did all that for nothing, because this dude is he's a straight grimy ass dude. So that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him, and he hath requited me evil for good. So, and more also, do God unto the enemies of David, if I leave off all that pertain to him by the morning light, any that pisseth against the wall. So David was truly ready to put them all to death. It says, and when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass, and fell before David on her face, and bowed herself to the ground, and fell at his feet, and said, upon me, my lord, upon me, let this iniquity be. And let thine hand. Now, she knew she had a dumbass, wicked ass husband, but even still, she said, upon me, let this iniquity be. It says here, I pray thee, speak in thine audience, and hear the words of thine handmaid. Humble. Let not my lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my lord, whom thou didst send. Now therefore, my lord, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord hath withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand, now let thine enemies and they that seek evil to my lord be as Nabal. And now this blessing which thine handmaid hath brought unto my lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thine handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my lord a sure house, because my lord fighteth the battles of the Lord. She was referring to David. It says, and evil hath not been found in thee all thy days. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee and to seek thy soul. But the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with the Lord thy God. And the souls of thine enemies, them shall he sling out as out of a middle of a sling. Okay, let's see. There we go. Verse 30, getting to the point. It says, and it shall come to pass when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he hath spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord. And she's referring to David as her Lord, meaning one that's over her, because he's a man and she's a woman, all right? And she knew her place. So when you see my Lord there, it's lower caps, right? It says, verse 31, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless. You hear that? Thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord hath avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt with well with my Lord, then remember thine handmaid. See? Because when Nabal said, pretty much, I don't care who the hell is this guy that I should take of mine and give to him, I'm not going to do it. If David put him to death, you can't go in here and say, well, it says here, Leviticus, what, here and here, that if you do this and then this person says, yeah, I ain't gonna give you any of my stuff, the penalty is death. You can't. So David, in doing that out of anger, now we all like, damn, this nigga grimy as shit. You know, he ought to get something coming his way, but yet he didn't do something that to you that you can say, well, oh, he slept with my wife, he committed adultery, he did this, so I'm gonna put him to death. You see? So David, initially, he got mad because this wicked nigga Nabal was drawing that out of him based on the reaction that he gave, and he said it. He said, I did good to this guy, and he basically repaid me evil. So he was ready to go put the work on him, but this Lord put the spirit on Abigail to come and basically be a stop, and be like, look, really think, get spiritual, don't get carnal, because you don't want to end up having to think back on this as something you did that you shouldn't have done because of this person's wickedness drawing out a carnality in you, right? So don't let these niggas make you a nigga, because guess what? If you are a nigga, you're going to pay for being a nigga. You're going to suffer the judgment of a nigga, and you don't want that, okay? So even though they are wicked, don't let them don't let them draw wickedness out of you. Don't let them taint you with their wickedness. They're coming against us because there's a light. We have a light about us. Okay, that's what the Lord has blessed us with, that light, which is Yahushai. And if you throw that light away and you go into the darkness so that you could beat their ass, who's to say that you could come back into the light? Okay? And that's the part. You just gotta remain spiritual. All right, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Barakatah to all of you sincere listeners. Okay, so now I did say that I was gonna get a few of these precepts. So let me scroll through and see what brothers got. Yep, this is Virgin Islands Straight Gate, Romans 3:3. It says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the fear of God without effect? Most High forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Yeah. So your unbelief is not going to hinder our belief. You don't believe, we believe. Just like you don't believe because we believe, we're not going to not believe because you don't believe. And we'll find out where we all end up when all is said and done. And a lot of you going to get messed up badly. You're going to get mangled. You're going to get disfigured. You're going to be hurt so bad that you're going to be unrecognizable. All right? Your spirit going to be looking at your body as it's leaving like, damn, what the fudge? Virgin Islands Straight Gate, Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. You hear that? Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Now, see, if we were able to do now, right, like you talking shit and the Lord just has it to where, boom, you smoking a blunt talking shit and your lungs catch on fire and spontaneous combustion, boom. People would be careful, because when those kids made fun of, I believe it was Alicia, and he called the bears, and they came and tore those kids up, you of course you know it was talked about, you know. So them kids, they kids knew, yo, respect, respect your elders, don't go making fun of, because when people hear kids, they think, oh, innocent kids. No, kids be, some of these worst demons be kids, man. Some of these kids are real demons, and they know exactly what they're doing. Oh, he's just a kid, give him a pass. What you mean he's just a kid? This nigga talking all this shit, So when they got their asses torn up, them other kids they heard about it, Their parents could have been on some like, hey, yo, you better behave. You don't remember, you didn't hear about what happened to those kids that were being disrespectful? How those bears came and got them, scaring the kids so they behave. Okay? So now if those things were happening now, if the judgments were going out speedily, the second you talk shit, the second you come against the Lord, you just get bam, 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 just squashed, people would be very, very careful. But the Lord he's culminating it, if that's the right word. He's allowing it to amount so that you can all get your judgment when the time of judgment commences. Okay? This is Virgin Islands, Straight Gate, Romans 13 and 1. It says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Verse 2, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. That's why when Peter was saying, no, Lord, I'm not going to let them, take you, the Lord said, what? Get thee behind me, Satan, because them coming to take Yahushua, Judas betraying him, that was set up by the Most High. And though Peter in his mind might have been thinking, no, this is my Lord, why would I allow him to be put to death? That would be me doing him a disservice. No, because that's the carnal way of looking at it. Spiritually, you doing that would be getting in the way of the will of the Most High. And Yahushua said his meat is to do the will of his Father. And that's what the Lord, Yahushua, put the will of the Most High always first. Imagine that. Imagine you having to curse out somebody who cares about you because they're telling you that they're going to ride or die for you, and they're going to make sure you don't die, and you have to curse them out because you have to accept the fact that you have to die a painful way. Originally, you don't want to go through that. But you understand that you have to go through it, and now you got to curse out somebody who's trying to make sure you don't go through it. Because spiritual, Yahushua understood the spirit. All right? You want to find somebody who understands the spirit? Yahushua understood the spirit. All right? He understood discipline. He understood doing what needed to be done. That's why he was austere. Because when you're austere, you get shit done. You don't dilly-dally, you don't drag, you get it done. Okay? You strike once, you strike firm, and you strike to get it done. Okay? What else we got over here? Yep, this is Virgin Islands, Straight Gate, Romans 12 and 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. See, so that's why we leave it up to the Lord. Here it is, dealing with this whole Rap the News guy, right? Say that he is dead, and maybe there was a curse put on him, right? Brothers put up a curse or whatever. Guess what? We ain't physically go there and grab this dude, The Most High is the one who ultimately issued judgment. And we leave it to the Most High, because whatever you may want to do, it's not, you can't get this person back as much more than the Most High can. So you want to get two birds with one stone. You want to be blameless, but then your enemies still get the work. And you do that by leaving it to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. When somebody hurt, what happened to Nabal? If you keep reading, you find out that the Lord took him out. And David didn't have to stain his hands with the blood of Nabal. So when these people talk their shit, we leave it to the Lord, and the Lord will deal with them. And we'll get to witness their destruction, but we won't have to suffer, having to be carnal to do it. So we can be blameless and still see the fall of our enemies. And you do that by putting your trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's how it's done. All right, that's how you do it. This is Prince of Yahweh 6, Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 11. It says, for whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope in vain, their labor unfruitful, and their works were unprofitable. Yeah. You know, the only thing their works are going to profit them is damnation. Straight up and down. Left, right, east, everywhere. There's damnation. And that fire is nothing to play with. You always got to, look, when you cooking and you burn yourself, you touch a hot stove or an oven, you like, you know, and then the skin gets light over there, and for like a couple days, it hurts. You put water on it, it doesn't go away. That's over. Like, you remember, when you touch something hot, your brain initially tells, yo, move your hand. You move your hand fast. But even still, look at how much that hurt. And that was like a little spot on your finger. So now imagine your whole body being burned at the same time, and you screaming. You screaming so much, you wondering how the hell you're screaming when your damn body's been burnt. Your voice box is melted. How are you screaming? And that shit hurt so much that you still gonna be able to, you know. And the Lord said He's gonna leave you there and melt you. That's not a judgment that you wanna partake in, man. You know. But yet, that's a judgment that people are they're gonna have to go through so that they can learn. Okay. Yep. This is Yahar's Judah Israel, Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin onto sin. Yeah, you know. And so ultimately, the moral of the lesson is, yes, we're going to see more and more of these wicked Israelites coming. The Lord is going to bring more events, because the Lord does bring controversy. All right. He's going to bring more events. He's going to spark up different things, you know, and different situations are going to come, and they're going to turn up, and they're going to be hotter. But we have to remember that at the core of it all, keep it spiritual. Okay. Because the Lord is, yes, these people are doing wicked things, but we have to remain spiritual, because our salvation depends on that, you know, on what we do. So we always have to take heed to our actions as well, you know, and move. We do what's right, but in doing what's right, you have to do it the right way. There is a right way to do what is right, and there is a wrong way to do what is right. Because you may do what is right, but if you do it the wrong way, then you've done what's right, but now you got to pay. So you want to make sure you do what's right, and you do it the right way. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Until next time, shalom.